fair for everybody going forward.
What's considered a deduction? An adder?
Let's say you did the you did the survey and we missed a room. We walked right by it, didn't just missed it, and they got 5 lights in there. Now we've got to add it. So we can go. Here's the deal: you have the choice to go upsell and say, "Hey, when I did this, you guys kind of rushed me through, and so I missed this room. There's 5 lights in there. The additional cost is this," and ask for a change order and ask for the additional amount. Commissions will stay the same. But if it's something blatantly screwed up and missed, you're in a room, you see 5 lights, and you count 4 on your notes, and you missed one, you probably don't want to eat that.
We wind up paying for that light.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
So that's just motivation to do it right the first time then, right?
There you go.
That's exactly right. And part of why Jeff's here is to train everybody on exactly what to do when you do a survey, and also the pitfalls. And one of the things that we tried to cover in the videos is the pitfall. What could go wrong? What didn't you do? Let me give you a simple example. You do a parking lot survey and you take a picture of the light and you don't notice that instead of being 1 light up there, it's actually 3 because of the way you're standing or whatever. You just don't notice. Or maybe it's 2, 1 right behind the other, but you only notice the 1. You know how many lights you'd be off? They had 10 in the parking lot, you're off 10 lights.
50%.
Here's another quick example. You go out in the shop and you make an assumption that all the lights are on 12/7 or 12/8 or 12/12 or whatever. I'm sorry. They're on 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, or 8 hours a day, or 5 hours, whatever it is, but you get the timing wrong. That's potentially going to change it. What if they want the lights to come on automatically and turn off automatically, and you didn't include that? You just figured there was just going to be a straight light for so many hours a day. That requires a controller. You're going to go to a controller that requires a platinum as a fixture, and you only specified a gold, which is just the housing and the lamp. Or maybe even worse, you specified a silver, which is just the lamp. So now you're missing a whole bunch of things.
Another big miss is, more times than not, will be the wattage. And that takes time. We don't expect you to go out first few weeks and for your first surveys and nail the wattage right. Sir, a lot of times if you're inside, let's say many times when I do an assisted care facility, they'll have a closet of lamp replacements. Go to that closet, you can get the wattage right there. If you're out in a parking lot and it's 40-foot, pole, it could be anywhere from 400 to 1,000 watts. And so I don't know if Will, if you got this when you started, Will, I know it wasn't when you started, but we're now, requiring it. Isn't it kind of a requirement for people to have the monocular, the ARP?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're aware of that. So that monocular will take care of that problem and get you up to where you're zooming in and you can see the writing on the lamp of the wattage. But a good picture, and if you're not sure, a good picture of as close up as you can and then far back to show the height. Bruce can look at that picture before you confirm it and we set up the presentation. He can confirm where that wattage is so we make sure we get it right going forward. So there's some checks and balances to help you out.
Well, here's another instance of where it could be off. Do you remember when we did TAR, Will? Do you remember up there the guys said, well, we don't have any lighting up there, but we want to get lighting up there on top where storage is.
Yeah, I remember that.
And you forget to mark it down. That's a whole lamp you missed, an entire lamp. And there's no rebate on that because that lamp never existed before. So you can't get any kind of a rebate because it's not a reduction in use. It's actually an increase in use. So all that has to counterbalance itself.
That could be, then you have to add in the labor, which if there's no light there, then we have to extra wiring. It's a higher installation cost for something that's not there versus replacing.
Yeah. Wes, what's the status of your friend that Thomas and you had both talked to about?
He's with another company working night shift now. I mean, he said, hey, I'm building my clientele, waiting on whatever is going to happen with us. So he's kind of in the waiting around zone, but he's got to work too. So he's with another company doing some work at night for like casino construction.
So I could barely hear you for whatever reason, but I'm going to summarize. You said that
He's got a new job on new construction, waiting around for us to get him started. We don't have any jobs for him, so he can't just not have any income coming in. So he had to go get another job.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. All right. Well, here's the thing that's going to happen is this office is going to begin to build very rapidly now. As this area gets opened up, it's going to start going like gangbusters. Assuming that this COVID light, I said that right, Jeff?
You did.
Coronavirus light.
Well, he likes to call it a Corvette light for some reason.
I like Corvette. I don't know. It could be a Cadillac. It could be a Cadillac.
Oh, God, here we go, Cadillac.
Anyway, it could be that kind of light, and if that goes the way we expect, we'll probably be shipping those before the end of summer, and that means that we're going to be taking orders probably sometime late in July. That's going to be huge. Because if this thing gets the approvals that we believe it'll get, and we know that we can go ahead and start manufacturing, if we take a reservation, it's a firm reservation. It's not, well, what if the light doesn't pass? It's already passed. It's already been approved, or has FDA approval. So then the question becomes, do we get paid on a commission? My vote is yes. You'd get a commission, whatever your commission rate is, on the $500 that would be required as a deposit. And then you get, the balance of it once the thing is actually delivered. In that case, it wouldn't be 25 and 25 and 50, I don't think. We'll have to talk that through, Jeff.
Yeah.
But anyway, you're going to get something right up front to that. So that could be huge. Ultimately, what they see with that is you can imagine making dining tables that have just the back side of that light, the kill chamber, up underneath the table so that it's taking air in quietly while people are eating and the air is being exchanged and there's no light involved. It's just the kill chamber. That could be interesting too. That's just another product. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how this thing plays out, but it's going to be huge. And if we can use that as a parlay to get into the balance and do our core business, which is a replacement of LED lamps, we've got something here nobody else has.
Yep.
No other electricians, nothing. There's something else to think about. When we first met, remember that first meeting that we went to? I don't know if you were with us, Wes. I don't think you made that meeting. I know Doug was there. I was there. You were there, Jeff, right? With
At the restaurant?
Yeah, the Nevada
Yeah,
Energy.
Wes was there. Oh, Nevada Energy.
Nevada Energy. Anyway, they asked how many people finance the deals, and 3 people raised their hands. How many people finance it for commercial? 1. Now, with this COVID having been out there, and you got a lot of electricians that didn't get business, and they couldn't make it. So we've made it. We're going to continue to make it. We fortunately have a strong enough balance sheet that we'll be okay. But some of these other players are going by the by. So we have a huge opportunity. I think that, you're just going to have to trust me on this, I guess. But, my experience is that we as a company are poised to really just go ballistic, busier than you could possibly ever imagine right now because of COVID. Everything's slowed down, but it's going to start easing up. And if we come up with this light as expected, and we can combat COVID, it's going to put us right in the forefront of the news, of opportunity, of everything else. We could be so strong with this that we could say to people, yeah, we'd love to sell you that light, but we'd also like to sell you the LEDs in the rest of your building. And since it doesn't cost you anything, what's the problem with that? So we could literally withhold the COVID light if they're not going to do the LEDs with us as well. And we are a company who, like every company in the world, has the right to refuse to sell to anybody. So if we do a hard and fast that says, yeah, we'd love to sell you these things. By the way, what are you going to do about the rest of your LED lights? Well, we just need the COVID light. We just need that. Well, unfortunately, right at this point, we're not willing to sell just the COVID light to somebody who absolutely needs LEDs, and it doesn't cost you anything to put them in. Wes?
There's a limited supply, and only certain companies qualify for this, and we want to make sure that you're qualified. On top of that, there's a minimum requirement. Part of that minimum requirement is us to be able to change out all your LED lights throughout the entire facility to help save you guys some money. But we have to go through and make sure we can get the right count and see if you guys fit that mold.
He's got it going on.
Yeah,
I think he
works.
figured out
It works.
That works, right? Simple, straightforward, and it's common sense. Anybody who listens to that goes, well, that makes sense. I can see that. As long as it makes common sense, people will go for this. I'm telling you.
I've gotten to where I really don't just take no for an answer now. I kind of like look at a no as a smoke screen. They're just going to say that. So automatically assume the no, but go ahead and keep pressing through, because once you peel the onion layer back, they'll open their eyes and be like, oh, wait a minute, they're right. And if you know you're right and you're doing the right thing, there's no reason why you can't go through that no. Does that make sense, Will?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just you got to take away all they're going to throw out a bunch of excuses as to why not to do it.
Exactly.
And the goal is to just knock out each one of those no's every single time. Okay, well, I can't do it because this. Well, we can do that. We can circumvent that by doing this. And once they run out of excuses, there's really no reason for them to say no, other than if how DR said they're just stupid. If they're just stupid, then there's nothing we can do about that.
Exactly.
But,
There's no excuse for stupid. Stupid is.
There you go.
As Forrest Gump said, stupid is the stupid.
Yeah.
I dangle the carrot and I snatch it back. Dangle the carrot.
That's it.
No way.
Here's the other thing we're going to start doing. This change came about this week, is that all of the proposals come to me first. And then you and I will sit down and discuss the proposal, what the opportunities are, what we think the benefits might be to them, so that you have a full cadre of things in your head and notes that you've taken about what's the best way to approach this. Now, Will, you've got the least amount of sales experience, but you've got the most amount of sales experience living right next door to you. So you really have no reason not to take advantage of that.
Oh yeah.
So
Wes,
that's
what was that? What was that? Was that? Holy crap. Okay, Will. Okay.
For the record, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. I'm not a part of that.
It was Wes. It was totally on Wes. I got that. That's an old Southern thing. I used to be in the middle of big in the oil industry, and we'd be talking along, and suddenly some guy went down the table would go, Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Oh, Jesus. I'm so sorry. It certainly break up a tense negotiation. I'll tell you that much. Anyway, so we'll have a better chance of getting the deal. You know, if we put more than just your mind to it, we put both minds to it, and we make sure that it's thoroughly reviewed, then we got a shot at it. And if we're not sure, we've got Jeff as a backup. We've got other EDs as a backup. Oh, Wes is a backup. We got we got all these people, and we can talk amongst ourselves. And there's no harm in the three of us, without Jeff, the three of us talking about a potential prospect and what we might be able to get. So we had Jim into that. Jim's a good salesperson. I don't know if you guys know that, but Jim is he's a great salesperson. He sold advertising. I don't know if you know how tough that is to sell, but he's selling the printed word and trying to write into that all the benefits that they get that they can't see. They can't see. I believe you're going to make a lot more money with this. How do I know that? Well, I can't put it in writing, and it's really tough. Go ahead, Wes.
Last night I had an appointment at 6:30. Sit down. The guy was an engineer, and he went through every single line, every single number, every future predict. I just sat back and let him do his thing, and more than likely we're signing on Monday. He has to think about it over the weekend. But I'm just like, dude, really? How this is a freaking no-brainer, man.
Yeah. Well, you know, part of reducing this from 34, 20 pages, whatever the hell it came out to be before, to 4, is that we don't list the number of lights that they get. We don't tell them the kind of lights that they get. None of that is provided. We'll have a separate brochure that has the intended or unintended benefits. Well, let's see, what do we call those in addition to? It's called non-utility cost benefits, so indirect benefits. You can't really ascribe a value to that. For example, one of the most expensive things to any business is workers' compensation insurance. And you take an auto shop like you're talking to, Will, the problem in those things, one of the reasons they hate to have customers come back there is because there's always liquids on the floor, always. And most of these things are bat caves. You can't see shit inside them. So now you put an LED light, people can see where things stick out. They can see stuff on the floor. And that is one of those intended benefits that doesn't have a particular cost attributed to it, but it will, if you cut down your workers' comp claim experience, it will cut down that price. That's not figured into our calculation at all. Also, when you're a new business or when you're a business and people go by and see it all well lit and all excited and everything, that's exciting to people. They like to see that. You go by a business that looks like a cave, I don't know if I want to stop or not. So a bright business attracts customers. Again, you can't put an exact number on that. And that's why these things are non-utility cost benefits. So we have a separate brochure on that, but we're not going to get into this. Well, what does that lamp look like? We're not going to do that. We guarantee the savings. We guarantee it in writing. We guarantee in writing that the work is going to be done and that it's going to meet their requirements and the requirements associated with the bad energy. We guarantee those things. So the only thing left is, why wouldn't you do this? Well, why wouldn't you do this? And you keep pressing forward just as Wes suggested, because there is no friggin' reason not to do it. None.
Don't be scared.
Just call them out. That's it. Don't be scared.
I ain't afraid to take a no. Keep telling me no, but if you're gonna tell me no, can you explain to me why so that I can get better and help somebody else out that really gets it, that really understands what we're trying to do? Because obviously I've done something wrong that it doesn't make sense. Can you please give me some feedback so I can get better?
Yeah, that's all. That is all a great point. That's excellent.
Keep in mind, the stuff that we're not providing now that we used to, it's still available. Somebody wants to see, if they got a techie maintenance guy that, he wants to understand the light and see the cut sheet on it, we'll get that to him, no problem. So it's still available. Keep that in mind.
Sometimes with that cut sheet though, Jeff, my thought process is, hey, he just wants to know what we're doing and what kind of light so he can go and get in front of us on it.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they require it, and that's why we make a generic cut sheet. And,
That's good.
So.
Yeah, we'd like to make this Amazon proof if we can.
Yes.
Right.
So as you can see, there's been a lot of changes happen just this week. There's a lot going on, and every day gets better and better and better. Jeff and I see that because we're on the phone 3-4 times a day, every day to each other, looking at changes and trying to make things better, and the company's committed to making things better.
No wonder you don't answer my calls, Jeff.
That's why you can never reach him. He's on the phone with me. All right, what kind of questions do you guys have this morning?
The commission scale location, where would we find that? How we were discussing a couple weeks ago about the how to increase your commission, or what level you were on. Where was that at? I wanted to get
Okay, those levels that were on the initial contract that you signed, those are going away.
Okay, so what are we doing? And so we're doing.
It's just going to be a flat rate, and we believe it's going to settle in at 10%. We think that's what's been approved.
That's what I want to make sure.
You have a 10% commission, and as you go along, it used to be that if you went along and you decided, well, I'm going to take this next level tool training, that could get you up to what, 11% or 12% or something.
11.
I don't know. What I told the company is, I said that's bullshit. All right, Toots, I love you. If you want to get better at this, we're providing the educational tools to do it. Get out there and study. And you'll make more money. And there's your raise right there.
There you go.
That's it.
So it's kind of simple. What I was trying to do when we ran through these contracts, I was trying to make sure, A, you got the best commission rate, which 10% is flipping huge. Okay. Number 2, I wanted to make sure that at some point the company couldn't jerk with the salesperson. Well, we didn't make as much money as we thought, so we're going to have to cut your commission and all that bullshit. No, I didn't want that. The onus is on the company to understand exactly what they're doing. And if they bought products wrong and it cost them more, it's on them, not on you. It's on them. If they bought the product and wound up being shipped to Seattle when it should have been shipped to Eugene, it's on them, not on you. And in the past, it's been on you. And they turn around and cut that commission. Right, Jeff?
Yeah. That's all based on profit. So that profit drops, your pay drops.
So I wanted to make sure that the commission rate stays the same. And Jeff and I worked hard on that. And we've also done other things. When you were hired, you could go in and just start collecting business cards. You can go to a network meeting and pick up 20 business cards, get $3 a piece for each business card. And we've cut that out. That's BS. First of all, anybody can pick up a business card. That's like anybody can say no. I mean, it's simple. Pick up a business card. So what we've done now is we have increased the amount that you're paid to do a presentation from $25 to $35. And you get paid for 5 per week.
Yeah, it's worth it.
So that's just the bare bones presentation. Obviously, if you get the deal, you're going to make a hell of a lot more money, and the goal is to get the deal. But you don't get the deal without presenting it. What, Wes?
I said, when you get the deal, not if. That word
There you go,
if
bud.
is a bad word.
So that's $35 for every presentation, is that on top of the 25 for every survey? Up to 5, correct?
Yes.
That's correct.
Man, that's why the hell not with man? I can't wait till this is like we can really get out of here. This
Call
is,
me, Will. We can team up. We can go blast it out, man. I know
hey
what you're
man,
doing.
let me know. Let me know I am ready to go. Let's do this.
I can
Let's do
tell
it.
it. You just help me.
Hey, guys, next week, I was up in Seattle yesterday and people, it's hit and miss. It's all over, but it was, I got into a lot of places, very welcoming. There was other places, businesses open, but they're closed to the public. But it was just fun to get out and about, having been cooped up for the last couple of months. So I'm ready to hit it hard with you guys next week. I'm looking forward to it.
We have lights there, masks. Lights there.
DR does.
Of course, DR does. He's got like this awesome company that does everything for him. Look at you, dude. That thing's cool.
Yet another outstanding benefit from living next door to this gentleman. I got one of those
I
too.
know.
Yes.
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 Over here.
Oh, I'm loving it.
I got 2 of them. I got a white one and a black one. Will said he wanted the black one, so I gave him the black one. And I got the white one, and I got a third one the guy sent me, and it's got our Cadillac Club logo.
That's awesome.
And then my friend over at Finley Cadillac, the guy who's a GM, he sent me over 100 Cadillac masks. So they're really nice masks that have a big Cadillac. Kind of makes you look like the goalie in a hockey team. You got this big Cadillac. Too funny. Anyway, yeah, we got so many things that we're going to be doing here that I honestly don't see how you guys can't make just a ton of friggin' money. I told Thomas this, and I think I've explained this to Jeff as well. I've been in more than one rodeo, and I can tell you that some of the companies that I've started, I looked at them and said, wow, this is going to make a lot of money. I was only right twice. 2 of them made just incredible money. The insurance company just made a lot of free. So that one I was able to call, and the guy who became our chairman and CEO, he called it as well. He said, if we get the funding on this, he said, this will go like gangbusters.
When?
Took a 1-page business summary in to Ernst & Young's vice president for insurance, and in a span of about 3 hours went from no money to 5.3 million, and they wanted to give us 15. That's a big win. That's huge. That says somebody who's really experienced in the marketplace understands, and they're willing to put money in. Well, I understand business. That's my big thing. I truly understand business. And as I look at this business model that we've got now, I do not see how you can't make a lot of money. Period.
Well, you're the decision maker. That's the problem.
It's not the problem. It's not. And here's the other thing.
So far, it's been the problem.
It's been a problem in the past. Absolutely. You take 20 pages into the guy that's the foreman, and you say, yeah, I really need to see Bob. And he looks at that and goes, yeah, Bob's going to look at this. And somehow it never makes it to Bob. And the guy couldn't explain it to him anyway. That's the other thing. You never want somebody else doing what you could do.
Right.
Today, the one we have today is so straightforward that it's ridiculous. Let me see if I can find it on my busy desktop here. It is so straightforward today that it's crazy, and anybody can see it. You take this to a foreman and say, look, here's how much more money the company could make. That could help you keep your job. Oh shit, I better get this to somebody who can make a decision. Right? So that's where we're going with that. Let's do brochures. You can see the number of files I have on this thing. This is just, it's getting to be crazy. We have a new brochure for benefits. There it is, PXN. And it's not there. That's fabulous, fabulous. We have a new brochure for Lights benefits, and it's on the website now. You can download it. Okay.
Is what I'm saying. Cha-ching.
Cha-ching.
Why the hell can't I bring that up? Cha-ching, yeah, like that. Just give me a minute, guys. I'll figure this out. Look at all these files I've created for this set. It's just unbelievable. Send it to Steve. Let me do that. Why didn't you put that
Hey, Will, are you available as early as Monday next week?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Because I got gonna meet Wes on Tuesday and Jim on Wednesday, and if you have Monday available, we could get started.
Sounds like a battle plan.
Excellent. I love it. Hey, Wes, we might consider. I don't know. We'll have to talk about it with Desert Trust. I think I told you.
Blazing. I'm coming in there.
Just keep him. You're talking about decision maker. He's really not. I mean,
Okay, let's go around him, dude.
what's that?
Let's go around that dude then. I don't.
That's we need to strategize to talk about that because I've got the contact info and where his boss is at, and he's the director for Desert companies, not just Desert Trust, including Desert Lumber, Desert Trust, and they've got quite a few different
That's like
places.
4 of them. So where
Yeah.
are we with Eagle Concrete?
I showed that to him with a video presentation, and he was interested, and haven't talked to him since. And so that's absolutely a place I'd want to show up and see him face to face.
Well, I figured we could do this side of town. We could knock out Desert Trust, Eagle Concrete, the cannery all in one shot.
Let's do it.
Roll down to the collision place
Okay.
that we got the assessment on. Remember
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
And then we'll get that knocked out. And then from there, we should be able to sign that collision place, I think, between you and I and our expertise. I can go in there and just start swinging the bat and get her done.
You have to remind me, what was the status of that? Have you seen a presentation on it?
I have no idea.
What's the name of it again?
I forget. I've got it on a card in my truck. My buddy.
Okay.
There.
I'll have to track that down myself. Okay. Is it Tucker Collision?
Tucker Collision. That's it. Thank you.
Okay.
For that.
All right, on the screen is the new proposal right now.
That is
So you can
beautiful.
see how much has changed. Now we got the present. This is what you're paying. The potential. This is what you would be paying. The savings is $3,000. And now, how are you going to reallocate those funds? Well, $1,200 is the new bill. That's going to go to the new utility lighting expense. And then the new lights there, lighting as a service investment, is $2,100. But we're still giving them cash flow of $900, and we know it's positive because if it was negative, it would have brackets around it. First year advantage. First year, he's going to get cash flow at $10,800. He's got a utility incentive of $16,200. That's $27,000. The total due you. Now, if that isn't enough, if he doesn't believe that that's going to be helpful to him, then what about this? What's your net profit, Mr. Smart Aleck? What are you doing? What's your net profit? Oh, we make 15%. Terrific. Here's what you do. You take this number divided by 0.15, and it'll give you a number that looks like this. It's a big number. And that number is how much more business he'd have to do to equal this. So how many more widgets would you have to sell? How many more cars would you have to repair? How many more conventions would you have to work?
How many more people would you have to hire?
How many people would you have to hire? Because what we don't say here is that this 385,000, if he's doing 7%, he can't make that 385,000 more than what he's doing right now without more advertising, more people, more production, more whatever, depending on his business. And that is huge.
So DR, does that positive, negative automatically populate a certain way so
Yes.
it'll look different if it's negative?
Yeah. If it's negative, there'll be brackets around it, just like negative has. In accounting terms, whenever you have a negative number, it's got brackets around
Got it.
it. And it'll probably have a minus as well.
Okay, and I love the new LAS investment. Before, I think it said likes their expense, and that I had a problem with that. I couldn't determine what I liked better. There it is.
Actually, Thomas came up with that.
Why don't we just call it
It's an investment that they're making.
Yeah, it sure is.
why don't we just call it a LSA, Lighting Savings Agreement?
Well, because it's the lighting and service is the actual term that.
Mouthful.
Yeah, that's why we don't say it out loud. We use LAS.
What?
Call it a LAS if you want. Partners a laddie.
LSA right here. Here's what we're gonna do. Blah 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 blah. It flows a lot better. But what I've seen too is like the cost of not going LED with us. You know, showing that trend graph that goes up, and then us kind of leveling off. That would be so cool just to have a little visual, and we could point that little picture out and say, look, that's fine. You don't have to go with us. Your cost is going to go up here. You could stay with us. It's going to stay flatline right in here. Which one would you prefer?
Actually, that kind of stuff was in that original proposal, along with a lot of other crap.
Just a little square picture. I don't mean like a big.
Yeah,
thing.
I get it. But we're trying to make this as simple as it can possibly be. So this is what we're going with. And if we get 3 months down the road and you guys come back with feedback that says, God, we got to have a graph, man. We got to just show them graphically
All right.
what that looks
I
like.
hate to lose a deal,
Then
but
we'll incorporate something. We'll figure it out. But right now, we want to keep it as simple as we possibly can.
Kiss method, best method.
There you go.
One of the things we tried to do was put all the unintended benefits. I'm going to share screen again. All these unintended benefits. Whoop, hit the wrong button. Sorry, that wasn't good. There we go. I did one. Jeff had seen it, and you know, Jeff, I actually completely erased that. I'm so bad. This area over here, like that, had all of these non-utility cost benefits. And it was so busy and so butt ugly from my perspective. So we eliminated it. And so what we have now is a piece that looks like this. And the new website loads really quick. Oh, well, I'm on the wrong spot anyway. So, okay, so it still loads quick. So if you click on this one right here, it opens up the PDF. And there is your list of all non-utility cost benefits. And to the right is our value proposition, which takes 1 minute to say. So you look over those things and understand what you can do. It's crazy. That employee sleeps 7% better. That's a documented test, making them more well-rested and more accurate in their performance. I think you guys know that I played semi-pro football. What you don't know is that the difference between a semi-professional player and a professional player is literally 3% in their stats. 3%. That's huge. So if you're talking about a better employee, what would happen if you could get 3% more on it? The reaction time was better. They thought about other applications. They thought about more about how the company could be integrated with whatever they're doing. I don't know.
Hell, I wish I was 3% taller. I'd be in the NFL. Just telling you, man.
Okay, I can't do
3%
anything about
taller,
that.
I'd be good to go.
You know, you could sue the city for building the sidewalks too close to your ass. I don't know. That's it. My uncle, who's 6'6", he's passed now, but when he was going to college, he went to Colorado School of Mines and got his double E, where he was a vice president for Westinghouse, but he was so tall, and he played pool left-handed, and he could shoot behind his back as well as he could shoot in front of himself. So he literally put himself through Colorado School of Mines playing pool.
Wow.
But he was 6'6", and people come up to him all the time. And this is back in the 30s. They would come up and say, "Hey, Gene, what's the weather like up there?" And after about 4 or 5 of those, he spit on some guy and he says it's raining.
Wow.
I thought to myself, that's a bold move. We have a guy in the Cadillac Club who's currently president who's 6'8". He's an attorney. So I said to Glenn, I said, "How tall are you anyway?" He says, "Too tall." Okay, that's a good answer too, I guess. So anyway, kind of fun, but you can see we've done a lot of work to make you guys successful. And I have every confidence that you can do. Jeff?
Agreed. And I said it before, I cannot wait for next week. I'm really looking forward to it. I head down, I'm driving the car to park it there, and so I'm driving down tomorrow. I'm going to stay in Winnemucca tomorrow night.
Winnemucca?
Yep.
What the hell?
I'd stop the trip just on that name alone. I'd say, no, if I got to stay in Winnemucca, I'm not doing this.
Winnemucca to Reno, stay in Reno, then come down. 8 hours from Reno.
I don't know what this is a straight shot to Vegas. Winnemucca's on the way.
Oh, okay. I don't know how all that works. I've never taken that trip.
Yeah.
So who are you going to be with on Wednesday?
No, Jim.
Jim, that's right. You are Tuesday.
Wes is Tuesday. Will is Monday.
Because on Wednesday he's going to be driving my Cadillac.
Thursday, what we got?
Woohoo! Actually, Wednesday, Jim said he was going to pick me up. So I tell you what, your
really?
Cadillac
He's
can
going to
take
come
a
all the
rest.
way over here from where he lives?
Is that a long ways?
Yeah, it's about a 35-minute trip.
Well, where's the golf course that he wants us to go see? Is that nearby you?
It's about a 35-minute trip, wasn't it, Will? Yeah.
Easy. Oh, yeah, that was on the other side, literally on the other side of the city.
Is that back where he lives in his area?
From my house.
Well, then maybe I do need to go to him.
Yeah, you should go to him.
Okay.
At least meet him at the golf course. If he wants to change, then fine. If he
Yeah.
doesn't, he can fall in.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you before then.
Yeah, that's a little crazy for him to come all over here, and drive all the way back there. You're gonna lose an hour and a half of the day.
Okay.
You know that? Is this thing on?
All right. Anything else for this meeting, guys? I think we're 1 hour in exactly.
All right.
Anything else? Nothing? All right, man. Let's look forward to next week. It should be awesome. Jeff will be here, and you guys will be out there, and in the trenches,
We're making some noise.
hopefully making noise and hopefully getting a deal. At
That's
least
right.
1 or 2 deals next week. That'd be great.
We're gonna get 2 for sure.
All right.
All right. Excellent.
Good.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
All
Talk
right,
to you
see ya.
soon.
See y'all.
Gentlemen.
Bye-bye.